Today I had a thought about Neo's first jump, in the Matrix, the movie, and I want to draw parallels on about that, and a lot of people that are currently in this kind of stage of awakening or disconnecting themselves from the Matrix, whatever you want to call it. So, looking at the Matrix, right? Neo had a regular job, which he hated. He hated being there. Energetically, spiritually, he just hated it, right? His boss was a dick. He didn't want to be there. And aside from that, he was clearly overqualified, but underappreciated, or not even seen for what he was actually truly capable of. He was a certified hacker, right? Who was he was very, very, very good at what he did in terms of like hacking or whatever it is, right? Because if you remember the scene when the agent actually approached him, they had a dossier, a really thick one, which tells you that he was actually very good at what he did. So his talents were being lost at this job, right? But it got me thinking that most people that, whatever you want to call yourself, most people that are aware of this game, whatever it is, are in a similar boat, because just having the awareness of seeing the game for what it is, or seeing life for what it truly is most people that are aware of this aren't your run-of-the-mill regular people. They're very, very deep people. To come to that realization takes a high level of like self-criticism and self-awareness, and also awareness of the bigger game, the bigger picture, the bigger, whatever is actually transpiring. So, most people are they're critical thinkers, and those skills are transferable, I would say, because if you transfer those skills to any field of life, that person could be a strategist or whatever you want to say. But the thing is, I believe that work itself is a construct of the Matrix, or of the system. Why do I say that? Because work is simply designed to steal your time. That's it. Because I've been in the corporate world since graduating from university, and regardless of what, and I am in the STEM field, right? And even outside of, and I've got friends that are also in similar situations, and when we trade stories, for the most part, it's just egos. Not my friends, but when you talk to people in the corporate world, generally it's just egos, like, oh yeah, I'm the responsible for blah 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 blah. But when it comes down to it, it's basic admin. And I know people would probably roll their eyes and think it's not true, but it actually is. If you look at it from, okay, so low skilled labor is menial work, isn't it? So cleaning, serving people food, laboring, right? The next tier up is administrative work, and there are levels to the administrative work. That's it. Because even if you're a project manager, right, or an accountant, or I'll clarify this. So let's say doctors, scientists, well, even scientists, but anyway, let's say doctors, people that, outside of doctors and people that are actually doing like pure research in the science fields, and maybe some engineering fields, advocacy, outside of those fields, it's pretty much admin work. I mean, even a pilot is just a qualified, it's just a glorified bus driver, really, isn't he? Because he has the skills and he's been trained to operate a vehicle, but it's just airborne. That's it, an airborne vehicle. It's no different from a bus driver, because he's still responsible for the people in his care, and he has to do these various kind of like checks and stuff like that. But it's, I mean, at the core of it is the same. And it's the same thing. We're just basically doing admin work, all of us, and for the most part, it's just our time is being robbed from us. Time. And for me, lockdown was a real eye-opener, because when lockdown happened, you realize how much time was actually being taken from the collective. How much time we just threw away in order to be able to have the option of paying to exist, when we shouldn't really be paying to exist, because we exist in the wider existence, so there should be no payment for it. And if you go down to like the deeper parts of it, nature or the universe, or whatever your preference, God, whatever you want to say, has provided everything we need for free, and it's abundant. Let me give you an example. You go to the forest and there's an abundance of trees, which is an endless supply of wood for you to make a shelter. Correct? There's an abundance of fruit and vegetables. They just grow, the stuff just grows, right? I'm not talking about, now that like the land has been taken forcibly away from the people and held in the hands of a few kind of like organizations or people that claim to own the land, and they use it for specific farming purposes. Essentially, that's what the land is for. Like, you go to any like river or lake or ocean, it's full of fish. Like, even with the overfishing, with the trawlers and all this stuff that, again, organizations and, have laid claim to it so they can overfish it and sell us the fish that they've taken, back to us. The same thing that's for the actual thing that's provided to us for free, they take and then sell back to us in exchange for our energy, our time. Because if you strip down your energy to the nuts and bolts of it, it's your time, it's the operation of your energy, right? Because money is a store of energy. That's what it is at the center of it. But it's like the paper itself is worthless, but there's an agreement that this is a store of my energy, and in exchange I'll give you this, and then we have the different quantities or whatever. So again, wildlife, there's birds, there's game. Again, people or organizations or countries lay claim to forests, and then they're the ones that hunt the animals, and then they can sell it back to you. Worst case scenario, you think about it in terms of even farming, even if you were to have, 20 chickens, right, that you were looking after, 20 chickens could sustain you in terms of the eggs and the meat. It can sustain you for a very, very long time. Just 20, it can sustain a family for as long as they manage the chickens properly and they have a decent enough system to bring in new life and whatever, and also they can trade the excess and sell the excess, or trade the excess for other things. It could sustain a family for a very long time. You throw in a couple of like sheep or cow, you don't need to go to the shop for meat at all. Your protein is taken care of. You have a patch of land where you grow your potatoes, which grow very easily. Some vegetables, like, you're set in terms of your fuel needs, in terms of fire, again, there's an abundance of wood as long as you're willing to do the work to collect it. But here's the dichotomy. People think that's such a crazy idea for them to live, right? But they will happily go and sit in an office and get their bodies destroyed, right? By, their posture destroyed by sitting down for hours, their eyes destroyed, their wrists destroyed, their minds destroyed, right? By this machine in exchange for comfort. But you could actually do this stuff and you would actually have way more comfort, really. And the reason why I want to draw parallels between, and I need to go back to Neo's first jump, but the parallels between the Matrix and this reality is, if you look at life on the ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, or whatever it was called, right? It wasn't the most glamorous, but they had all they needed. And the reason why I think The Matrix is such a great movie, the script and the dialogue, every single word is not out of place. Every single thing in that movie fits so perfectly. And I recently watched the movie again, and somebody was complaining about the food or something, and one of the chaps on the ship said, it described the goop that they were eating. It said it's blah 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 blah, contains this, contains that. It's everything the body needs, right? So essentially, if you were to have your potatoes and some vegetables and your eggs and whatever, yes, it might not be the most exciting food, but it's everything you need. It's everything you need, and that's it, right? And you could actually live a very comfortable life, But then I understand not everybody can build a house. Not everybody can, whatever. But then, okay, then why don't you get a caravan and then move around the place? Even a static one. Buy it outright and then, have a bit of farmland, raise some wild livestock, and that's it. Why can't we live like that? And I know I'm guilty of it too, because again, I left university. I had, they sold me the Kool-Aid, committed myself to, the mortgage game and all this other stuff, and, yeah. But ultimately, I now that I am fully aware of how this thing is, I have no intent of playing this game forever, because it's actually a waste of time. It's a waste of life. It's a waste. It's a terrible, terrible waste. And I know people will say things like, well, people want their comforts. They want to still be able to go on holiday and travel and have nice dinners and, blah, 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 blah. But I think collectively, if we wanted to live a different way, we could. But then I think we have to all agree to it. We don't all have to agree to it, but then I think we all have to manage our expectations of what it means to have a fulfilling life. I don't personally think that, destroying your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit to be able to go to a beach in Spain or Portugal for 2 weeks is worth it. I think that's complete dog shit. Out of 52 weeks in their so-called calendars, for you to throw away that amount of time in exchange for that, that's not even 10%. It's not even 10%. Like, even if you were able to go away for 5 weeks in a year, then I would say, yeah, that's fair. That's 10% at least. That's okay. And then another, 20% for, emergencies or just life in general, or whatever it is. Then that would be fair to me. I think 30% of the year for your own existence. Then yeah, I'd say then in that case, then the working model could be fair. But as it stands, it's definitely not fair. But anyway, going back to the original jump, Neo, even though he had been unplugged and he was aware that it was a game and he was in a simulation, when he was told, right, you can jump all the way from here to there, and he saw Morpheus do it, jump from one building to another building, right? The belief in the program was so strong that when he jumped, he fell. And when he fell, it's the only parallel I can draw from that is it's a fear that when you take a chance on yourself, right, in this simulation, it's not going to work out for you. You know, like you do away with the corporate structure and, you know, go your own way, run your own business, whatever, right? There's this fear which comes from the programming that you will fail. You know, it's not going to work out. It's impossible, right? Even though you've seen people do it, right? All you need is belief, really, that you can do it in the simulation, because ultimately you have all the power in the simulation. You are the most powerful piece on the board in the simulation. A conscious being in the simulation is the queen on the table. Period. There's nothing you can literally, like a conscious being that's really, really tapped in, you can literally shift the reality to whatever direction you want it to go. You can shift it whatever direction you want it to go. You can blend into spaces that, you know, you can essentially even disappear. I know this sounds crazy, but people that understand what I'm saying understand what I'm saying. You can push your thoughts out into people's heads, because ultimately it's just consciousness. Consciousness is one. So you can interact with people on an etheric level, on an energetic level, without even opening your mouth. And if you master those things, this place it becomes almost like a playground for you. Just like how it was in the movie for the characters in the Matrix, where they could jump, freeze time, stop bullets, you know, whichever direction they wanted to take themselves, they were able to take themselves. Because ultimately, they have the power on the table. Nothing can stop you. You know, and I know some of you have, I'm sure people have heard this expression that whatever, you know, if you think about, whatever you think, good or, if you think you're, I can't remember how the actual sentence goes, but it was something along the lines of whatever you think, you're right. So if you think something bad's going to happen, you know, the law of attraction, people will say you attract it, and the energetic people will say if you're thinking that, it's almost like you're sending it out into the energetic field, and that's what you're essentially going to manifest it into your 3D reality. Whichever camp you sit in, it doesn't even matter. The point is, you have the power to do that. You know, and then if you couple that with the notion of everybody pushed out and consciousness being one, your mind, a conscious being, your mind is literally like an atomic bomb in this space. Yes, because if you think about it, there have been individuals that have been able to completely start revolutions, completely go against the status quo. One person, one energy, right? To be able to disrupt a whole world, the whole world. Yes, it happens because they know how to manipulate their energy to cause ripples in the field of the matrix, of the system, the world, whatever you want to call it. So the point I want to make is, everybody needs to truly believe in their power. You know, believe that it's possible. Believe it's possible. Whatever it is you want to do, want to achieve, believe it's possible, man. Like, one day I will tell my life story, man, and you will not believe some of the things I've been able to manifest in my existence. You would literally would not even believe it. Good or bad. Good and bad. Good and bad. Some of my darkest thoughts, I've literally woken up the next day and I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually living this nightmare. Like, you know, and it's almost like when it's happening, I have to step back from an objective standpoint and recognize that I did that, you know, and then that awareness, essentially, I use that to, manipulate that energy to essentially dissolve back into nothingness. And then on the flip side, the good, yes, manifested some amazing things, and still to this day, I still do that, and I just need whoever you are, wherever you are, truly believe that you can make that jump, whatever it is, in whatever sphere of life, whether it's, taking a risk or believing in yourself or disconnecting yourself from whatever, then you do that, and believe that you'll make it to the other side. Just believe that you're gonna get there, and you will. Just believe that you're gonna get. It's that simple. It really is that simple. If you believe you're gonna get to the other side, the other building, you will get to the other side. No matter what happens, no matter how impossible and implausible it seems or it may look on the surface, you will definitely get there. You will definitely get there. Even when it looks completely like, oh my god, that's not gonna happen. Because the 3D reality is just echoing your fears. It just echoes your fears and your insecurities. That's all it does. It just mirrors it back to you. So if you believe that everything goes your way, then why wouldn't it? You're the most powerful piece here. And you have to learn to listen to your intuition, your gut feelings. You feel like something is not for you, then it's not for you. Why do you think you feel it's not for you? Like, here's a deep question for you. Why do you think it's not for you? What makes you think that something's not for you? Of course, because it's not for you. There's no rationalization. There's no point. There's no discussion to be had. If a job is not for you, then it's not for you. A company is not for you, it's not for you. A relationship is not for you, it's not for you. If a person's not for you, it's not for you. Regardless of what the 3D may be saying to you, you just know, on an intuitive level, that's not what you want. If that's not what you want, then that's not what you want. If you force yourself to make yourself want something you don't want on an energetic level, believe me, your energy will turn on you. And it will start initially by, it might give you like a tic or a headache or recurrent migraines, or it will affect your eyes or your joints, pain, fatigue, grogginess, feeling like memory loss, not really feeling like you're out of sorts with it. Yes, it will start off very, very simple like that. And then if you don't listen, when it keeps telling you, yo, bro, it will start to gray your hair. It will make you lose your hair. It will start to really then affect your meat suit, your body. It will start to attack the organs. It will start to, because it's energy. And remember, energy in its purest form, you have to look at the elements: fire, wind, water, earth. That's how powerful the thing inside you is, because it's made of the same stuff. So, and it can manifest any of those elements within you at any time. So if your energy wants to go a certain direction and you're not letting your mind, which is the captain of the body ship, is essentially not allowing it to, it can light a fire in your stomach. It can start to give you ulcers. It can start to give you heartburn. It can even start to poison your blood. It can start to create blockages, big blockages. It can affect the flow of blood, the flow of energy, the flow of chi, the flow of life force. You start to put on weight, and eventually it will kill the body. Why? Because the energy wants to escape. Because it wants to escape that body and then occupy another body that will give it the opportunity to go the direction it wants to go, because it wants to experience life. Simple. I had this conversation with my brother, and we sat down, and he's probably going to listen to this, and he knows exactly what the deal is. But if you want to go to the gym and you don't go to the gym, your body will turn on you. If you want to, do a hobby that your hobby, and you don't do it, you want to play the piano, you want to paint, you want to sing, you want to do something, and then I'm not gonna do it, man. I can't be bothered. I'll just rather sit down and watch Netflix, and that's fine. You can. But I remember watching a video once, and a guy said something really profound. He said every single action of yours is a vote to where you're going, to your future. It's a vote. So if you're not even on a physical 3D level, there's a voting. It's voting taking place. So if you're not making the right votes, eventually you'll be in a very sticky situation. Very, very sticky situation. So anyway, I'm at the health spa. A bit of R&R is needed, so I'm going to keep this very short. Oh God, there's nowhere to park again. Yeah, please just take what resonates with you, man, and if it doesn't resonate with you, that's cool too. But yeah, really just tap into yourself, man. Tap into yourself. That's the only thing you have, man. Everything else is noise. What else is there? If you can't tap into yourself, I mean, like, to put it like in black and white terms, what else is there? Really, there's nothing beyond what's here now. So because that's all you have is your body, your existence. You do it for another person, so why don't you do it for yourself? Just do it for yourself, man. And yeah. Oh, my phone. Yeah, peace.